Drew Albaugh alongside manager of the Wall to Wall Sweets, Colby Watilo, for another edition of Countdown with Colby. Coach, we got 2 more of these left, 2 more games. It almost brings a tear to my eye, just a little bit.
Yeah, same here. It's sentimental, Drew. It's been a long summer. It's been a fun summer. Only 2 left.
The summers felt kind of fast and slow at the same time. Is that, a similar feeling for you?
Yeah, I would say so. It feels like it's been, it feels like the season is coming down at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think back, and it feels like Springfield and, Yakima, teams on the road at the beginning of the year. It feels like it's been years. So
it feels like just yesterday I was like, Coach, on the other side is 9 games straight in 9 days.
Yeah.
And now we're in game 8 of the 9-game stretch. How's everybody's bodies feeling? How's the mental side of everybody doing?
I think it's we're in as good a spot as we could be physically. And obviously, again, like the results have been tough the last little stretch, but I think guys are excited to leave it all out there. They can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're not like guys are ready to get out of here, but I think they can see like, hey, when they're gonna get a break physically, right? So let's leave it all out there. Let's pour in what we've got left to give, and let's go try to get a win tonight.
The amount of guys I've heard talk about how many In-N-Out sandwiches they're going to eat is kind of crazy. So, hey, guys are ready, but also I feel like guys are trying to put it all out there on the field these last 2 games and get a win for the Sweets. What comes into that to try to snap the skid today?
Yeah, I think it's trying to get back to playing team baseball, trying to get back to executing all the way around the field. It's not just going to be the offense that's going to hit us into a win. It's not just going to be a pitching staff that's going to pitch us into a win. Defense is going to play defense into a win. We got to have the combination of all of it. And so, trying to find a way to do that, to put it all together. We've had good and bad glimpses, I would say, in all areas of the field lately in this stretch. And so now it's, hey, can we put a night together where it's good, all 3 parts, for the majority of the game, so we can come out of here with a win.
How important is it, once again, get off of the right foot and maybe bury a team early on and kind of give the Sweets a position where it's almost hard to then give the game to the Drifters?
Yeah, it'd be awesome to, try to force their hand a little bit more, right. Make them play catch up versus, been playing a lot of catch up lately and in early in games. And so, yeah, I think the start is huge in trying to take the early momentum in this game. So try to play for a lead, try to put up a couple zeros here early on. I think Payson Sweeney is going to give us a good chance to do that, coming off his last start at Corvallis. And so excited to see him back out on the mound, and hopefully he can go out there and put up a few zeros for us at the beginning.
In yesterday's ballgame, Owen Estabrook back out there on the mound in 3 innings, has not given up a run this season. How important is it, in a genuine question, to just fill the zone with strikes and let the guys in the batter's box beat themselves?
Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of talented hitters, and, I think that's in the back of the mind of pitchers when they get out there. But it is, especially with a wood bat in the hands of the hitters, force them to swing the bat, force them to activate the bat, especially if those swings aren't coming in 2-0, 3-1 type counts. If they're coming in a lot of 0-2, 1-2, 1-1 counts where they're having to swing the bat and try to put the ball in play, I think good things are going to happen for us. So trying to make, we talk a lot about trying to make the hitter hit and pitcher counts. We want them to have to try to do their damage when they're disadvantaged, when the pitcher has the upper hand. So trying to do that early is huge, and something that hopefully our pitching staff over these next 18 innings can do a good job of to come out of here with a couple wins and end the series, end the season with a series win. So
first time coaching the Wall to Wall Sweets as a head coach. What's been the most rewarding aspect of the summer for you?
I think I have 2 answers to that. I think one is to see the strides that individuals have made on the field. It's when guys came in and beginning of end of May, beginning of June, and just the player they were there when they first took the field for the Sweets, and to now see where some guys have come, both on the mound and offensively, defensively. And so I think that's one of the most rewarding parts. And then secondly, I think is, for a good majority of this summer, putting a product out on the fields and, playing baseball that the community and the city is excited about, and, that they were proud of and excited to attend and come take in. And so I think that was rewarding too. It's obviously, again, not the finish that we've wanted in this, but also I think for a good majority of the summer, I think it was pretty special for a lot of people involved, and it was good to see the town of Walla Walla excited about what was happening with Sweets baseball.
For a guy like a Trevor T, who's closing in on 160 at-bats, been here since the start, how huge is it to see the progression from day one to now the finish line?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's matured a lot as a baseball player, as a person. It's been fun to see. I think he's made great strides on the field, but, some of the things that are maybe a little bit more intangible and don't show up in a stat sheet is, his leadership in the infield, right? Of kind of getting asked to, hey, your body's broken down and you're grinding and you're giving us everything that you've got, and hey, now you're going to get asked to go try to anchor the infield at shortstop, the majority of the nights here coming down the stretch. And so for him to try to be able to put his own how he feels aside, and power through so that he can try to be there for the guys around him, be there for the guy on the mound, I think something like that is really special to see as well. And I'm extremely proud of him for doing that. There's a lot of guys that have done similar things. Cole Rogers in the outfield is another one, right? Even behind the plate, moving on to, to first base and guys like Nikhil and Owen Esterbrook, who've been here, for the majority of the summer. And so we have, and then there's plenty of examples on the pitching side too. So it's great. It's great to have those guys. You rely on them a lot and they take a toll because of it. But really thankful for the effort they've put out there. Speaking
of a toll, Cole Rogers is sleeping in the dugout or in the clubhouse rather currently. How important is it to get that rest and then go out there and, like third base coach for the Wall Sweets, Leo Rivera, has been saying, if you have 40%, give me all of your 40%. How huge of that is to say, look, we know you might not be feeling well, but still, whatever you have in the tank, I want all of it and then maybe 10% more.
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of the expectation. That's kind of the prodding we're doing here coming down the stretch, trying to encourage guys, trying to, kind of continue to help them push forward. And, we talked a lot about consistency and hey, the best players and the players that get to play this game for a long time are the ones that are the most consistent. We're 54, 53 games into the summer, right? And you look at a minor league schedule that at the, the low levels of the minors is still going to play 1hund20 games, right?
They got another month left.
Yeah, probably like 2.5 months left, right? Of more games to go play, which is a ton. And so, that's kind of what the West Coast League is all about, is trying to prepare guys for things like that. This is a super long summer and guys are grinding, but it's also just a taste of what professional baseball would be like. So, 162, right? Can you imagine? It's, for the Mariners, we're a third of the way through the regular season at this point with where we're at in the schedule, which is
crazy,
pretty crazy to believe.
Genuinely, how does a guy like Cal Ripken do that? Like, how is that possible where he went out there for almost 20 years?
Well, I think it comes down to some of the things you were mentioning about guys in the clubhouse, right? Guys are trying to find rest where they can, right? Guys are trying to get off their feet. And, we're at the point now where 10 minutes in the clubhouse for Cole is maybe a major difference, as far as his condition and where he's at. And so guys trying to do what they can to make the most of every second of rest, of every second of being off their feet that they can, so that when they are on the field and for the next 3 hours and 9 innings, they're able to go out there and leave it all out there, whatever they've got.
Coach, last couple of rounds of batting practice out in left field, I was out there and I made a couple of plays. I was bebopping around and it made me realize how fun baseball is. I mean, it is so much fun. I was out there taking a couple of ground balls as well, smiling ear to ear, just having a good time. And it makes me think, like, look, this is a kid's game. It's meant to be fun, and it is fun. And I was talking to Esteban Olazaba about it, and he was like, it makes me smile seeing you smile out there in the baseball diamond. And I was like, that's so huge to say. How big is it? One guy out there with positive energy can kind of infect the team, and how huge is it to play with fun?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's it's when this becomes at this level, if it becomes a business and it becomes, the grind starts to outweigh the fun, I think that's when guys start to get in trouble, and it gets really hard to persevere and push through. And so, no, it's important to keep that kind of in perspective of where this game falls, in the grand scheme of life. And so for guys to come out and have fun and to inject some energy into what we're doing out there, it's something that we're looking for. It's something that we're relying on, every single guy at different moments, to do it in their own unique way. For some guys, it's running around and smiling and having fun. For other guys, it's telling jokes or, making a witty comment at the right time. And, I think guys have their own way of impacting the guys around them. And we rely on that and, as a group, so that we can go together and try to build each other up throughout the finish of this thing.
And positivity and morale aside, I feel like it's also important just for results that you play out there and play loose, play free.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. You don't want guys playing tense or afraid of making a mistake, afraid of the negative result being the end case. And so, trying to play free, trying to, all these guys are extremely talented. So it's how can we try to put them in the best position to go out there and use their talents, play free. They might make a mistake here and there. We hope it's an aggressive mistake and we can kind of try to rein them in and whatnot. And so, trying to put them in the best position to use the gifts that they've been given.
Yesterday, I believe, was the 28th game here at Borleski Stadium. And Coach, for the first time, Sweet Lou beat a young fan running from first to third. The dugout was hype. I was excited. What do you think about that?
I will say that our team may or may not have had
an influence on that.
In Sweet Lou getting that win, they've been trying to encourage Sweet Lou all year.
It wasn't close.
Yeah, smoked them. I feel kind of as a Walla Walla kid, I feel a little bit bad for the kid to be like the only kid that's ever lost to Sweet Lou, but it was a funny change up. I know the guys enjoyed it. It's little things like that, right? Another fun thing, kind of a change up in the day-to-day monotony that helps to kind of make the season go.
I've been telling GM Cody we should do what they do in the majors over in Atlanta, where we get a guy in the outfield, maybe race a random fan.
It's a long run here at
That is a long run.
Deep outfield, so that would be a bit of a haul to try to go pole to pole.
True, it's about endurance.
That's right.
It is. And it's about endurance here in the season too. Just 2 games left against the Springfield Drifters. Walla Walla Sweets is the team that's here at Burlesque Stadium. All right, Coach.
Yeah.
This brings us to our question of the day. Do you wanna take a question? Like I feel like
no, you got it.
You don't have any questions for me. We got 2 left.
I wasn't told to prepare any questions.
I'm an open book.
Yeah.
All right.
Drew, what? If you could go back.
My question of the day is, what's the question for me?
All right, Colby's question of the day is, if you could go back and take your call back and redo your call on any play this summer for the Sweets, what would it be?
Well, guys have been giving me, you know what, about a couple of calls back in the day where I said a smoker not once, but twice in a game for 2 home run calls. I said a smoker to left field. Look, by the way, I've said twice this whole season and happened to come 2 innings apart. So I'd probably take one of those back.
Okay.
But I will say there was one time, I didn't want to say I messed it up, but one of the walk-off calls wasn't my greatest. Let's put it that way.
I think you're being hard on yourself.
I had a couple.
I think you've been talking about that for, a while.
It happens. You gotta be critical of yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's how you get better.
How you get better. Coach, now it's actually the question of the day. Over to you. What's been your favorite game of the season? And I've already asked Leo this, and he gave a predictable, but probably the correct answer for me. It's the Portland game, number 3.
Yeah.
Is there any 1B to that, if that's the 1A? I mentioned the Johnny Backus walk-off.
I thought that one's
his shining moment.
Johnny Backus walk-off was awesome. I would say the Levi Anderson 8 innings game was pretty cool. That was a great performance and fun to watch. So I'd say that one's up there as well.
With just 1 strikeout too, playing to the defense, getting it done. Sweets got 2 more games left against the Springfield Drifters, trying to snap the skid today, 6:35 p.m. And then tomorrow, fireworks. Hopefully there's fireworks as well today in today's performance. Thanks so much, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. Sweets.